The Mini GP70s, it's the racing. Let's get back to it. Liam Hodgins, you with the grid.
Yeah, so the plane might have been battles back in the day, but there's going to be battles out there on the circuit as Evan Belford qualifies in pole position, a very important pole position ahead of James Cook. Eddie O'Shea in second spot in the championship will be third on the grid ahead of Owen Mellor on bike 130. Ollie Walker, who won for his first race last time out at Clay Pigeon, in fifth spot ahead of Ryan Hitchcock in sixth position on the grid. Kyle Payne next up in 7th position ahead of Bailey Stewart Campbell. Johnny Garness qualifying in 9th spot on row number 5 ahead of Harrison Crosby on bike number 69. Saffron Watley on bike 1, 7, 8 and 11th ahead of Emmanuel Brinton, who turns up for his last race weekend this weekend on bike number 93. Sylvan Moundy in 13th spot ahead of Alfie Davidson in 14th. Dylan Mellor next up in 15th spot ahead of Joe Farragher in 16th. Thomas Gomez in 17th ahead of Carter Brown, and rounding out the runners and riders for the start of this Mini GP70 class, race number 1 from round number 4 here at Tattershall, it's Jamie Woodcock.
So we get ready then for the start, the first of 3 races this weekend for the Mini GP70s. The riders look towards the green flag. We're starting with a flag. It goes up, but it's not when it goes up, it's when it goes down. That is now, and we are underway with a 12-lap race for the Mini GP70s into turn 1 for the first time. It's quite a tight first corner, but everyone manages to get through cleanly off the front row. Evan Belford and James Cook have gone through. One rider goes straight on at turn number 2. They're not off the bike, they're just reversing it and going to get back into this race. Good start though by Evan Belford. Last season Evan did brilliantly at Tattershall, one of his favourite circuits, the number 52 rider, but James Cook with historical form on his side, so strong this season, really challenging. We've got also riders stopped on the exit of turn number 7 again. Funth to fairing, so these poor old fairings not getting a good day today. The riders still on the bike, no problem there, they're just being pushed back into the race. But 1 lap complete, 11 laps to go. In fact, I'm being told it's a 14-lap race, so this may well have been extended. Evan Belford and James Cook, though, are your top 2. Eddie O'Shea in 3rd. Then it's a good fight for 4th and 5th place.
Yes, the riders that had unfortunate luck on the first lap was Saffron Watley, who slapped the fairing of her bike, and Dylan Mellor, who pulled off at turn number 2, but they're still in the race and continuing on for the moment. But James Cook, our championship leader, hounding the back of Evan Belford, who's soaking up the pressure at the moment, with Eddie O'Shea in 3rd spot. There's a bit of a gap back to Eddie O'Shea from James Cook. Owen Mellor on bike 130 still chasing the back of our former championship leader, but as they come across the line right now, there's a bit of a gap opening up at the front of the field. Evan Belford sets as 45.0, but as I say that, we had James Cook setting a new fastest lap at 45.031, so the lap times are very close. It looks like James Cook is very close to the back of Belford through the tight and twisty stuff, but through the faster section, it's Belford that pulls away.
And it's not just Belford that's pulling away. The number 43 of Ryan Hitchcock getting well and truly stuck in with Owen Mellor. Very, very close up the back into turn number 7. Almost side by side as they head towards the final 2 corners. A great battle for those 2 at the moment. Eddie O'Shea just ahead of them. And it's side by side almost for the race leaders. In fact, it was side by side. There has been a change for the race lead. It is the number 44 of James Cook, who now leads with a commanding move around the outside at the final corner. That's extremely brave stuff, even from James Cook's own standards. Evan Belford down into 2nd place, but the 3rd place man, the number 114, Eddie O'Shea, has the new fastest lap at 44.936. Now, very fine margins, that's hardly a 10th quicker, but around a circuit like this, every 10th counts. Also, Ryan Hitchcock starting to close in as well, so all of a sudden what was looking to be perhaps a slightly strung out battle for the race lead, it's a 4-way scrap for this race lead. Over the line once again, it is James Cook, Evan Belford, Eddie O'Shea, Ryan Hitchcock now with the fastest lap into turn number 1. Then it's Owen Mellor and Bailey Stewart Campbell going side by side into turn number 1 as well. No position change for the top 6 so far, but it's clusters 2 by 2 by 2.
Yes, into the arc they go, you might think there, Dan. But got to look back to Owen Mellor in 5th spot. He's shown the kind of form that he's not shown since round number 1 when he picked up 3rd place in race race number 2. Ever since then, he's gone off the face of the earth ever so slightly, but he's back, showing some great form. And 5th spot, holding off Bailey Stewart Campbell at the moment, but it's Ryan Hitchcock that we need to keep a close eye out on. He set the fastest lap of the race, and he's chasing down Eddie O'Shea as they come through the final turn. The leaders come across the line. Evan Belford setting up a move into turn number 1 from James Cook. Up the inside he goes. Will he make the move stick? Not quite, late on the brakes, but we've got James Cook even later on the brakes. That's absolutely fine there. So we've got Ryan Hitchcock in 4th through turn number 2 into 3. Can he make a move on Eddie O'Shea before the end of the race? We've got a yellow flag out there on the circuit, Dan.
Not sure who that's for. They are underway and back into the race, so maybe the heat still affecting a few of our bikes. James Cook leads. It's still 2nd place for Evan Belford. Ryan Hitchcock is no longer wanting to be in 4th place. He's challenging the back of the 114 rider for that final step on the rostrum. The race leaders still nose to tail over the line. It is James Cook, Evan Belford. They're side by side once again into turn number 1. Can this be the move the number 52 needs to make?
Oh.
Yes, they make contact as the front wheel almost touches, and it did touch for James Cook. James Cook pushed back into 2nd place, and it is now Liam a 4-way scrap for the lead. Cook, Belford, O'Shea and Hitchcock.
Now the sun is coming out over the track a little bit, heating the track up, but it's the battle on track that's heating up ever more. That's going to enrage James Cook as they have 9 laps to go, 8.5 laps to go. He wouldn't have expected Evan Belford to do that, but he has done it. So can James Cook make a move? As we've been talking about that, we've had Ryan Hitchcock move into 3rd spot, the fastest rider on the track, the lap record holder now. He's making a way across start finish line. Will he make a move into turn number 1? Late on the brakes, not quite just yet, but as you can see in the background, we've still got Owen Mellor and even Bailey Stewart Campbell.
And a big moment, sorry to interrupt you, Linda, but an extremely big moment for Ryan Hitchcock. Too much power, too quickly, almost threw the bike from under him, but a good masterful piece of bike handling to keep that. But we give him too many compliments, and like that it changes. It's such a shame, but he is in this race, will continue on, and I believe he is still in 4th or 5th place. Now they're going through a few other runners and riders in this race, which adds another level of complexity to the battle, because you've got to know when to pick your moments, when to overtake the traffic, especially in the tight sections of this course. Evan Belford doesn't have this problem. The number 52 is Evan Belford, the grey bike and white helmet, into turn number 1. James Cook 2nd. Eddie O'Shea now into 3rd place, still just ahead of Ryan Hitchcock. And now Bailey Stewart Campbell's closing into this battle as well.
Yes, as you said, Bailey Stewart Campbell into 5th spot. That happened there on the last lap when Owen Mellor had a bit of a moment coming through turn number 6. Lost the rear end. Bailey Stewart Campbell got down in the power and ahead of the number 130 rider. Not sure if the tyres are starting to go off now. There's been a few moments for Ryan Hitchcock and Owen Mellor, so asking too much from the throttle. The rear tyre screamed too much and nearly thrown them out of the seat, but luckily they're still in the race for the moment. The race leaders come across start finish line. We've got Evan Belford pulling out a bit of a gap at the front. It's up to half a second now. There's 6 laps remaining, but it's Bailey Stewart Campbell is making moves. Bailey Stewart Campbell, fastest lap of the race, new lap record at 44.8.
Well, a great new lap record. Joins in the battle for 3rd place. It's still the number 114 of Eddie O'Shea in 3rd, ahead of Ryan Hitchcock. Ryan Hitchcock maybe a little calmer after that moment a few moments ago. Bailey Stewart Campbell, the new addition to this battle, with that new fastest lap, the new lap record. That tells just how hot and good the conditions are, with this track surface really getting into good bites for these bikes. As we say that, 8 laps completed, and it's 5 laps to go as 9 laps are now completed. Side by side between Ryan Hitchcock and Eddie O'Shea. Ryan Hitchcock up the inside, job done. And now the number 43 rider once again back into 3rd place. Bailey Stewart Campbell, though, is going to try not make a good move of this as well. He's not taking it lying down, though. Then nose to tail, the top 3 all getting close. 3rd, 4th and 5th. This battle up the inside goes Bailey Stewart Campbell. Has a look, almost made contact with Eddie O'Shea. So having calmed it down just a little bit, Ryan Hitchcock heading the game back into 3rd place.
That was such a shame for Eddie O'Shea. Got pushed the back marker out of the way, which seemed to give him a bad run onto the home straight, which meant that Ryan Hitchcock could make his way into third. But we've got Harrison Crosby. This is Harrison Crosby stopped at the edge of the circuit. Horrible for the number 69 rider. He's off the circuit out of turn number 4 into turn 5. So not quite sure what bike troubles hit that rider there. But as we look towards the race leaders at the moment as they come towards turn number 4. Have we got Max Cook in the lead? We've got Max Cook.
We got James Cook in the lead, yes.
James Cook, sorry, that Max Cook is his brother. That's James Cook in the lead of the race now. Not quite sure if that happened during the back markers. They were coming through a lot of the back markers there, so it could have been that James Cook has made progress through the back markers a little bit better than Evan Belford, and he's now back into the lead of the race as they come through turn number 9. Now we've got Belford, great run through the corner. Now we've done this a couple of laps ago. Great run through turn number 10 along the start finish line once again. Late on the brakes into turn number 1. Belford up the inside of Cook. Belford back into first. Cook knew it was coming, so he didn't get sat up as much as he did last time. That is Belford once again back into first position, but there's a couple of laps remaining. Can James Cook make another move to catch the lead of the race?
Well, that's the thing we were talking about reading the conditions, reading those of you who are around you, because some of the riders who can do it better tend to be the ones, especially at this tight and twisty track, to make the best progress and make the moves where it needs to happen. But James Cook, yes, was in the lead of the race, goes a little deeper, but Evan Belford is racing well and truly at the moment. Over the line, and it is Evan Belford confirmed as the race leader with 2 laps to go. James Cook 3/10 behind. Ryan Hitchcock in third. Eddie O'Shea and Bailey Stewart Campbell third, fourth and fifth through turns 2 and 3. Left and a very long right, a winding right for third, fourth and fifth place riders. They are still keeping their battle tooth and nail. Ryan Hitchcock not being able to get the gap perhaps that he would have liked. Eddie O'Shea right on the coattails. Part of that being his experience within the British Talent Cup. Of course, we are on the road to MotoGP and the official partner series to BSB. Many of these young riders are going to be going on to fantastic new pastures in the not too distant future. But speaking of the not too distant future, this is the final lap. Over the line for the final time. Evan Belford is your race leader, 7/10 now ahead of James Cook. That is almost certain, but with a few riders ahead, they need to get past with a bit more traffic. Well, it could all change once again, Liam.
Yes, absolutely, Dan. There's a back marker coming up to the leaders now. Well, Belford made the way past the back marker. James Cook's made a few mistakes in the last couple of laps. Round the outside, yes, he's cleared him out the way, but James Cook seems to be the one that's got caught up with the back marker. So Belford has been let off the hook with only a few corners remain, but the battle for third is still heating up as they head towards the final hairpin. Has Eddie O'Shea got anything in the locker for the likes of Ryan Hitchcock? Not quite, but as they come through the final turn, it's going to be Evan Belford across the line. Your race winner for the Mini GP70s. James Cook extends his championship lead in second spot ahead of Ryan Hitchcock, and Eddie O'Shea, your former championship leader from earlier on in the season, is in fourth spot ahead of Bailey Stewart Campbell, who set the fastest lap of the race at 44.8. Ollie Walker next up in sixth. Owen Mellor, after a fantastic start running in fourth at one point, dropped back to seventh. Johnny Garnett starting in ninth, moved up to eighth ahead of Kyle Payne, and Emmanuel Brinton rounding out the top 10.
What a good race then for our 2 race leaders. Evan Belford, the winner, ahead of James Cook. Some fighting action in that first race of the weekend from them. Heading up towards the paddock though, they did shake hands, so very, very close between the 2 of them. But many highlights of this race, the first Mini GP70 race of the weekend. Well, it all started with a good start from Evan Belford and James Cook. Saf Watley having troubles with the bike and was absolutely furious, thumping the front fairings. A bit of damage on that bike, but did, we believe, carry on to the end. Did take the checkered flag, so all was well for Saffron in 15th place. So scoring a point, not bad indeed. But the fight for the race lead between Evan Belford and James Cook. It wasn't just that fight though. The battle for third was one that raged throughout the entirety of the race. Eddie O'Shea, Ryan Hitchcock, 2 of the riders involved. Bailey Stewart Campbell then closing in with a few laps to go. Side by side for the race lead. The first move being made by Evan Belford up the inside. A little deep, couldn't bite it, almost threw James Cook off, although managed both to carry on with no real problem between the 2. And Evan Belford was leading. Ryan Hitchcock battling for second place, and then an almighty moment. The rear let go. Such a tank slapper, but did masterfully keep it on the island. So great bike control from Ryan, the number 43 rider.